Yo, we are now on our What a Rush segment. 3 fights that were just so good. So good. Right? Now, the first flyweight fight, it went the distance. Actually, two of these fights went the distance, but they were so good. So good. Right? So we start off with again, yeah, as I said, flyweight. We had Kavanagh against Felipe dos Santos. And this was such a great fight for Kavanagh's career. Such a great fight. Because coming into this, he looked on fire. Looked sensational. And he was pretty much the hammer. In this, he had the first round was all the Santos, essentially. Now, when I say that, I mean, Kavanagh, he didn't look terrible, right? He was landing shots, but dos Santos was just the one more effective, right? Spinning elbow, catches Kavanagh on top of the head, splits it open, blood coming down everywhere. Not great, right? Judges see that and it's just instant. Oh, yeah. Motherfuckers got that round, right? But did not let it disturb him. Comes out for round 2 and 3 and he is just, man, he shifted gears, right? Shifted gears, landing so fast. Right, variety, kicks, punches, just everything. Just doing his thing, right? He adapted. And it is one of those things, right? We mentioned in Back of Lunch, there was fighters that if they had done more, they might have got the win. If they had adapted, they may have got the win, right? And Kavanagh showed how this shit should be done, because that's what he did. Didn't win the first round, doesn't become disheartened, just switches things up, gets focus and owns rounds 2 and 3. It was sensational. He looked fantastic, right? He looked fantastic. So it was such a fun fight to watch, man. I really fucking enjoyed that one. I really did. It was great. It was great. It was, now, as I said, Busy, it was 29-28 across the board. Busy did, as I said, he lost the first round, but then only the 2, but it was a unanimous decision, right? Our next 2, so women's strawweight fight on the main card. We had Molly Meatball McCann against Alexia Thainara. And, we know what happened here, right? Thainara came in as a very late replacement, right? Very late replacement. But after, watching what she did on Contender, there was so much high regard. So much high regard for her. And she showed it. She really showed her abilities. Right? She was sharp on the feet, landing, gets a beautiful trip takedown. Beautiful trip takedown. And then on the ground, and she just put in work. Now, Molly, I think she spent too much time trying to throw from the bottom. She went for a few, arm bars. Nothing ever was close. Right? Nothing was ever close. And that's not really where her strengths lie. Yes, she's won a couple she's won one UFC, one grappling via arm bar. Yes, she's done that. But it's still not as instinctive as the rest of her game, right? And to be highly effective at that stuff, you need just to be instantaneous, throwing that shit on. You know what I mean? And that's not Molly at this moment in time. So Thainara, she got the back. And once she got the back, it was in her control on the ground was phenomenal, right? Because there was scrambles. She had the back close to the back. Molly got her back to the canvas, back on top, transition again. Then she takes the back, and that's it, right? That was it. She just sunk in that rear naked choke, and it was done. It was done, right? So that was just sensational performance. I cannot wait to see what Alexis does next. You know what I mean? Cannot wait. So we then go to the welterweight division, right? It was literally the next fight, right? It was Gunnar Nelson against Kevin Holland. And Gunnar hadn't fought in 2 years. Holland, moved back down to welterweight from a couple of, not ideal situations. So this was a fight that you think Holland definitely needed to win. And Gunnar, he needed a good showing. And this fight was so good. This fight was so, Holland was on point, man. Holland was on point. He was a fucking sniper in there. And you know what? He was landing sensational knees from the clinch. Man, he'd look at that Thai clinch and was just bringing those knees up. He's dirty boxing inside. He was hitting uppercuts, elbows, everything. And he dropped Gunny. Dropped Gunny and landed some nasty ground and pound. There was one shot that landed just after the buzzer, but he'd started to throw just on the buzzer, right? So yeah, it landed a bit late, but it wasn't a dirty shot, you know what I mean? But everything Holland was doing was just fantastic. His control on the ground, man, it was so good. And even from his back, right? And this was the difference between Holland and McCann, right? On the back. Because Holland was able to control the hands and then land shit, right? Lock it up and land shit. But just control it. And then when he had top game, looked great, right? Kevin Holland showed welterweight, I feel, is where it's at for him. You know what I mean? If he just properly focuses, properly drills in, Holland can fight for the belt. Holland could fight for the belt at welterweight, for sure. He just needs to fully commit. But, man, I'm looking forward to see what happens next. I hope, because he's like, look, June for another welterweight clash, right? Middleweight clash next week. I hope the UFC does not book him for middleweight, gives him the time to, just do the cut and, keep doing his thing at welterweight. That's what I really, really want to see. You know what I mean? But fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed that's what happens. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was it for What a Rush. And now we go on to Now You Know.